Hello, welcome to a Soulprint Mini. Today, I want to take a look at the energy around July 11th, the sentencing, because I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of people who are disappointed or frustrated. Now, do not shoot the messenger here, okay? But I want you to just put this into the mix. Steve Bannon was found guilty of contempt of Congress, right? And he was allowed to stay out of jail and not start serving his sentence until his appeal went through. So on the 11th of July, the way I understand it, once the sentencing is done, applied, his lawyers are going to immediately appeal. Now, that doesn't mean that the appeal is going to be successful, but what it does mean is that it is unfortunately somewhat likely that he's not going to get marched off to the Huska. He's not going to get thrown into Mar-a-Lago with an ankle bracelet and house arrest. Energetically, it feels like it's like he's going to get a slap, but the rest of the punishment may be delayed. Now, please don't get upset, okay? And don't attack. But as the days go by, the expectations are getting bigger and bigger. And, yeah, he's going to go to jail. 34 counts. How on earth can he not be put in jail? How could he not serve time? How can not this? How can not that? And I'm not saying those things aren't going to happen, but I'm saying let's all manage our expectations, because the last thing I want to see, and the last thing you should want to see, is feeling like somehow the system has let you down. It didn't do what it should have done, what it had to do. And then you get that energy of why bother? It's not worth it. He got away with stuff again. Now, I'm not saying he's going to get away with anything. I'm just saying let's just consider the potential that even with the sentencing, it may not be implemented right away. Not that he's going to escape it, but that it's not going to be immediate. Okay? I'm going to throw some cards because I want to take a look at this and see what this looks like. And there's going to be stuff, right? It's going to be, it's July. You can't throw this guy into jail or even house arrest. He's running for president. You can't, do that. And Judge Marchand has proven to be incredibly fair in that, he bent over upside down and backwards to make sure that there were no appealable issues and to accommodate the fact that this guy was an ex-president, legitimate or not. So I don't expect at sentencing someone's going to slap handcuffs on them and march them to that back room and then take them wherever they take those people once they get escorted out of the court. All right. So I want to take a look at that and just see what that energy is going to be around, because I really want everybody to take a breath and just sort of manage their expectations, because I don't want disappointment, because disappointment can lead to a disconnect. You know, why should I be paying attention? Why should I be concerned about this? He's going to get away with it. He's not. I just don't know that he's actually going to be dragged off into house arrest or jail or solitary confinement or whatever it is immediately. Now, if I remember correctly, last Friday when I did my pendulum, we got some interesting answers, because we got a yes on a monetary fine, and we got a yes on some sort of restriction, so jail, house arrest, whatever. And it's very possible that, the monetary fine may need to be paid right away, but the other punishments may be set aside until appeal. Now, do I think the appeal is going to be successful? I actually don't. But he will be given the opportunity to do that. And as much as we don't like it or we do like it, that is a justice system. And while no man is above the law, no one is actually, okay, I need to be careful here. He is not going to be dealt with in the harshest way possible, even though he was the one who said that he thinks that people who are criminals should receive maximum sentences, and they should all be really, really, treated firmly. I'm sure he's singing a different song right now. Let's take a look. And listen, if there are any astrologers out there, and I know you're out there, who can do a progression. I know that, I kind of pay attention, and they're telling me there's a harsh angle to this and a square to that and a something else there. And it's not going to be a good time for him. I'm not suggesting he's going to march off into La La Land. But if there's anybody who can actually, with clarity, explain what the influences are between now and sentences, because right now is when the reports are done, the lawyers are, putting in their briefs or whatever they're called. Apparently there needs to be some sort of a meeting or meetings with probation, figuring out if he goes to jail, what that looks like and how they accommodate that. So there's a lot of kind of stuff going on behind the scenes pertaining to July 11th. If there's anybody out there who can actually say, okay, listen, this is what's going on. This is what he's being impacted by. Because I know it's not good, but not good doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to be a little bit disappointed. Let's take a look, shall we? Trump intended sentencing. Trump intended sentencing. Trump intended sentencing. And listen, everybody just remember, none of us psychics, none of us readers, or the vast majority of us, we can't get him to the election. We can't find him in November. So this is not the end of the world. This is not, but the energy is getting more and more excited, and he's going to finally get his. And I have a feeling that I would rather you guys be prepared for that than not. All right. Now, first four cards, a little scary. He's got the Three of Swords. So it feels, followed by the Four of Swords, by the way. So it feels like he himself is going to be disappointed. He himself is going to be a little bit thrown or shocked by what the actual sentencing is. And based on this Four of Swords here, it it feels like there's going to be some sort of restrictions put on his physical movement. All right. I don't know what that looks like. I'm just saying. Seven of Swords. So again, he's not going to get away with anything, but we all need to make sure that our expectations are realistic for the situation. And like I say, Steve Bannon didn't have to start serving his sentence. In fact, he hasn't gone to jail yet. I know he's being told he has to go because his appeal failed. But if Steve Bannon gets to be out on jail while he appeals, come on, let's just be reasonable here. Death card. Karma is going to pay a very harsh and difficult visit to this gentleman. He's going to not expect sort of almost any punishment. And he's going to be tossed into a whirlwind. I mean, if we think he is unhinged now, man alive, everybody, buckle your seatbelts, because I think after sentencing, he's going to take unhinged, 2.0, right? I mean, unhinged on steroids. But he has that ending coming, all right? And the punishment is coming for him. Look at these cards. The Three of Swords, the Four of Swords, the Seven of Swords, and Death. These are not good cards, okay? You have the High Priestess here, followed by the Three of Pentacles. So there are behaviors that are going on right now from him that are so going to, that he thinks he can get away with. He thinks that, he's above the law. He's going to find out that a lot of what goes on, what he does, what he says, how he behaves between now and the middle of July actually comes back and kind of bites him on his rear end. This Three of Pentacles here, I believe that's the appeal. And I don't think that it's going to go through. Okay. I don't think he's going to get what he wants or what he expects. But anybody out there who isn't prepared for the fact that he's going to get sentenced and literally immediately they're going to file an appeal is sort of not been paying attention to his pattern. It's what he does. It's what he always does. And this is certainly not going to be any different because, unless I'm very mistaken, this is the first time that jail is actually a real potential. Whether it happens, none of us knows. But for the first time in his life, he can't pay a fine and get out of it. Okay? Things are going to move quickly. So even if there's an appeal, it's going to move, I think, maybe more quickly than he would like or he expects. Ultimately, the community, the country, the citizens survive and thrive, frankly. There is that sort of sense of celebration, of things finally feeling fair or just. to varying degrees, because all of us have varying degrees of what we consider just in this situation. So, what I'm asking you to do is to just manage your expectations. Okay? He's not getting away with anything. He's not going to get away with anything. That's a foregone conclusion. He's not going to become president again. He's losing support left, right, and center. And the more unhinged he becomes, the more support he loses, because who you're focused on right now is the independent, okay? And a majority of independent people say, I can't vote for a convicted felon and put him in the White House. So right there, he has lost a chunk of votes. Don't concern yourself with the MAGAs. It doesn't matter what they're going to vote for him. It just doesn't matter. All right. But it is the independents. It is the Democrats who are kind of like, well, I don't really like Joe. He's kind of old. He's kind of this, he's kind of that. Those are the ones who are going to be like, yeah, but there's no way this guy can get back into office. And as time unfolds, it's going to become more and more apparent why he can't. Okay. So, I'm hoping that I don't get like blasted by you guys, but I was just really prompted because there was just, everybody's kind of like a little bit gleeful. And frankly, we're not really supposed to be gleeful, okay, like just to start with. But let's not set ourselves up for disappointment, okay? That's all I'm saying. Don't shoot the messenger. If you have any questions, please post them in the comment section for Pendulum Friday, which will be tomorrow. And the amazing Joyce is going to do what she does. I thank you very much for being here. I thank you very much for your support, your kind comments, your thumbs up, all of it. I'm so grateful for it, and I really do appreciate it. But one of the things that I'm told very often is that people really appreciate sort of the way I just tell the truth and I just shoot from the hip. And this needed to be said. Take good care. Be well. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.